How does one even begin to appropriately introduce the genius I'm going to talk to you about? There is no doubt in anyone's mind that the king of pop, Michael Jackson, was ahead of his time and a pioneer of the music video, or as he called them, short films. They were so much more than just 4-minute clips used to promote a single or an album. MJ used the visual medium like no one else to tell a story and to enrich all of our lives through the magic of entertainment. And I am so thrilled to talk to you about all of my favorites. I'm Kendall Richardson, and these are my top 10 Michael Jackson short films. Number 10, Bad. Released in 1987 and directed by none other than Martin Scorsese himself, the Bad short film is a sight to behold. Its 18-minute runtime contains a story about a private school student named Daryl, played by MJ, upon his return home for the holidays. He is greeted by his 3 friends, led by Wesley Snipes in one of his earliest roles, and as they attempt to continue their criminal activities on the rough Brooklyn streets, they soon realize that Daryl isn't bad anymore. Then the black and white short film turns to colour, and Daryl gets his side across to his friends through song and dance. The choreography is some of the best Jackson ever performed, inspired by West Side Story and mixing synchronized steps with improvised ones. It fits the song perfectly as they move around the New York City subway station. It's also great to see MJ stretching his acting legs, delivering the same intensity in his performance as he does in his singing and dancing. Who's bad? Number 9, Liberian Girl. I feel like this short film has got to be up there for featuring the most celebrity cameos. Liberian Girl is one of MJ's most romantic and sensual ballads, so it was a really interesting choice to go down a completely different route for the short film. The story goes, this group of megastars, some bigger than others, are all on set rehearsing or waiting around for Michael Jackson to turn up so they can get the real Liberian Girl short film underway. Little did they know Jackson was behind the camera filming them the whole time, which made for an adorable and funny twist at the end. Here are just some of the big names MJ had appear. Steven Spielberg, Whoopi Goldberg, Dan Aykroyd, Weird Al Yankovic, Lou Ferrigno, Danny Glover, Billy D. Williams, Lou Diamond Phillips, Richard Dreyfuss, David Copperfield, and in what I consider to be the Danny and Sandy reunion we always wanted, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. Whilst not one of his most memorable short films, it is a ton of fun to watch and an overload of 80s nostalgia. Number 8, Scream. It was the duet the world had waited to see. Janet Jackson, now a superstar in her own right, teamed up with Big Brother Michael on this classic progressive pop song with beyond amazing results. Directed by famed music video director Mark Romanek, the short film for Scream is angry, emotional, and aesthetically striking. It was the perfect vehicle to launch MJ's album History, and it must have been such a cathartic experience for the Jackson siblings, given how horrible the previous 2 years had been to Michael. You can feel every ounce of rage oozing through the screen as they visually express and interpret the lyrics "Stop pressuring me" and "Tired of you telling the story your way." The Scream short film still to this day holds the record for most expensive ever made. The budget, when adjusted for inflation, stands at $11.2 million, and it really shows. Again, Jackson proved himself to be ahead of the game, using the latest in visual effects to tell his story. Number 7, Black or White. One of the many things Michael Jackson did best was his incredible ability to turn political and social commentary into powerful musical anthems, and with an insanely catchy hook to boot. Black or White as a song, and even more so as a short film, is a groundbreaking statement to make, not to mention a pure work of art. Whilst the world at the time had been wondering what the deal was with his lightened skin, instead of making it about himself, he turned the mirror around. He asked for society to focus on themselves and the realization that we are all human, regardless of colour, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Legendary director John Landis teamed up with MJ once more, he also directed Thriller, to deliver the world this most important message. Using state-of-the-art visual effects, the morphing scene still holds up over 25 years later, still. And powerful cinematography, Landis and Jackson made a dream team that I really wish could have worked together more often. Just do yourselves a favour and watch the complete 11-minute version with the Black Panther dance sequence at the end. It is one of the most visceral and emotionally charged performances I have ever seen. Number 6. The Way You Make Me Feel. Anyone who doesn't think Michael Jackson was sexy as hell clearly has not seen this video. Following on from the rough street gang vibe that Bad offered us, the short film for The Way You Make Me Feel starts in a similar way, only this time it's MJ and not Daryl. The message this short film conveys is so pure and endearing. MJ wants to fit in with the gang, but even they know he is better than that. Feeling down, he has a conversation with a mentor-like old man who tells him straight up to just be himself and things will work out. So that's what Michael does, and that's how he gets the girl. The way he goes about getting her is so playful and charming, capturing perfectly the positivity and love of the song. The choreographed piece at the end is put together so beautifully, the lighting creating perfect silhouettes as they dance in unison. This is then followed by the final scene of the girl and Michael together, and her hug speaks volumes. It's more than just a sign of affection, but an admission of thank you for being you and having more respect for me than those other guys did. It's just wonderfully done. Number 5. Who Is It? One of my all-time favourite songs, as well as one of my favourite short films, Who Is It has to be Michael Jackson's most underrated work. It is also unlike any other short film he ever released. Directed by David Fincher, also one of my favourite directors, the 6.5-minute song was transformed into a cinematic vision worthy of the haunting lament that is the song itself. Jackson grieves in his heartbreak as we learn the woman he loves is actually a high-class call girl who takes on a different identity every time she steps out to meet a new wealthy client. When the girl decides to leave behind her promiscuous lifestyle and be with Michael, it is too late. He has discovered her secret and left her behind in order to move on. I have such a desire to see this short film adapted into a full-length feature. Fincher's signature visual style mixes so well with the themes of the song and the short film itself. Plus, MJ was very convincing in his performance. I would have loved to have seen what more he could have done with it. Number 4. Leave Me Alone. I remember watching Leave Me Alone as part of MJ's movie Moonwalker when I was a kid, and since then it has remained one of my favourites. Michael very rarely gave interviews at the time, so in order to respond to the ridiculous rumours and tabloid junk, he fought back at his critics through his art. My favourite thing about this song will always be MJ's vocals and the way they are mixed together, which helps to elevate the powerful imagery in this award-winning short film. Combining live action with animated effects, the Leave Me Alone short film gives us great insight into what the man himself must have been going through. Michael Jackson is an amusement park run by animals in business suits trapped against his will. Each attraction featured pertains to a certain tabloid story that was told about him in the media at the time. At the end of the short film, he finally rises up and breaks free, no longer being controlled by his oppressors. It's a powerful metaphor that is executed brilliantly. Number 3. Jam. The short film for Jam is an interesting mix, not only because it combines artistic cinematography with comedy, but it mixes two types of jam, music and basketball. What an event this must have been! Two of the most famous people on the planet, Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson, MJ versus MJ, duking it out on the basketball court and on the dance floor. This collaboration of icons gifted us some highly amusing scenes, with Jordan trying to teach Jackson how to do a layup, and Jackson guiding Jordan as best as he could, trying to teach him some of his most iconic dance moves. The short film is kind of split into those two halves, with just as much basketball as there is dancing. I absolutely love some of the shots in this short film and the way they are edited together, and the use of light and motion is wonderfully done as well. Jam is a super fun short film that fits perfectly with one of MJ's most underrated tracks. Check it out if you haven't. Number 2. Remember the Time. This is what you get when you put Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's eyebrow, Aman and Magic Johnson in a short film together. I love this legendary short film because it combines two of my favourite things, ancient Egypt and Michael Jackson. The Queen wishes to be entertained, and after the first two guests failed miserably to impress her, a third guest arrives. With no introduction and shrouded in mystery, he reveals himself to be MJ, an apparent former lover of the Queen. The dancing in this short film though is, to make a Michael Jackson pun, off the wall, and it definitely goes down as some of his best work. I have to say the visual effects blew my mind as a kid, and they still do today considering this was made in 1992. But they were also so believable, and me being the gullible and impressionable child that I was, legitimately thought it was all real and that Michael Jackson himself could vanish and reappear like that. Director John Singleton helped to craft a stunning ancient Egypt for a modern audience, which sees this short film shine as a wonderful part of MJ's visual legacy. Honourable mentions. This was an extremely difficult task. Here are 3 short films that just missed the cut. Give In to Me. Michael Jackson really could have had an entirely different career as a rock band frontman. Beat It, Dirty Diana, and in this case, Give In to Me are all exceptional rock songs crafted by MJ himself. What makes this short film my favourite of the 3 is the combination of my immense love for the song itself and how well the visual interpretation works alongside it. Jackson rocks out hard on stage, whilst the incredible guitar strains of Slash wail beside him, making for a real spectacle of a live performance. Interspliced with this are close-ups of promiscuous lovers, driving home the themes of desire and sexuality expressed within the music and lyrics. I also just really love the look MJ has in this video. The all-black outfit with the white arm brace and the way his shirt and hair billow upwards when he's standing over the air vents on stage. He really lets loose as he moves around, and the way in which he sings the lyrics such as "Quench my desire" and demands for the love of a woman is just breathtaking. Earth Song. No other artist in the spotlight has ever really made anything quite like this. One of the many things that I love about Michael Jackson, and also one of the most tragic, is the fact that he truly and deeply cared. Not just about humanity, even despite their treatment of him, but about our beautiful planet, our home, the Earth. This powerful ballad is a love letter to Mother Nature, as well as a profound apology, which the short film for the song communicates perfectly. The Amazon natives and the Tanzanian tribe people, they were not actors. Those were the real faces of these real communities whose surroundings are and have been destroyed. A large part of the Amazon rainforest that was shown in this short film no longer exists. It was bulldozed barely a week after shooting was completed. I love how this short film explores humanity's failings and its desire to take it all back. Everyone drops to their knees, begging for salvation from their ripped home. And as the final anthemic chorus rises toward the end of the song, Mother Nature rises to the occasion and undoes all of the damage. It is just beyond powerful. Thriller. If you're wondering why this is not the number 1 on my list, may I remind you that this is actually a list of my favourites, not the most iconic. As a fan of MJ, I've always drifted more towards his unsung works, mostly because we all know just how amazing and groundbreaking Thriller is. I don't really need to stand here and remind anyone of that fact. But I will anyway. The Thriller short film is the stuff of legend. It was the first collaboration between Jackson and American Werewolf in London director John Landis. The makeup effects were done by the icon himself, Rick Baker, who also worked with MJ on Captain EO. The scary music was brought to us by Oscar-winning composer Elmer Bernstein. And of course, Michael Jackson himself teamed up with choreographer Michael Peters to deliver us the most iconic dance sequence of all time. It is 14 minutes of pure horror, dance and song, and I love the twist at the end when MJ turns and looks into the camera with an evil grin and spooky yellow eyes. The entire thing is just phenomenal. And my number 1 favourite Michael Jackson short film is Smooth Criminal. In my opinion, the short film for Smooth Criminal is better than Thriller. Yeah, I said it. It is an absolute masterpiece of dance, choreography, music, aesthetics, and cinematography. Everything from the way it pays homage to Fred Astaire's The Bandwagon and costuming and style, to the visceral breakdown in the middle of the song, to that lean. There is no denying its sheer brilliance. Smooth Criminal is actually viewed best with MJ's film Moonwalker, as some of the elements in the short film may not make sense to the casual viewer when taken out of context. When I think of Michael Jackson and his visual legacy, this is the first short film that comes to mind. It really encompasses everything that he was about and the full measure of his artistry. It is an absolute crime that it often gets overlooked when compared to his other works, which only makes me love it that much more. MJ and his costume designers Michael Bush and Dennis Tompkins actually had the shoes they invented for the lean patented. But watching that move as a kid, and I can imagine most adults would have felt the same way, was simply magical. Michael Jackson defied gravity and pushed the boundaries of creation. And with all that said, you have to see why it is indeed my favourite Michael Jackson short film. So there you have it, those are my favourite Michael Jackson short films of all time. What did you guys think? Confused as to what I left out? Leave me a comment, let me know, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Fred the Alien here on YouTube for more videos just like this one. You can also find me on SoundCloud and iTunes as one of the hosts of a podcast called Fred and the monthly Winifreds. I've been a Kendall Jackson and you've just experienced Collectible Chaos.